13-year-old becomes first person ever, that's right, ever, to beat the game of Tetris. And I'll tell you what, the first time I read that headline, I didn't think there was a Tetris, end to Tetris. I thought you just got, just kept going and
It's
going
got
and
a high
going and
score.
going
Yeah,
and
yeah,
going
yeah.
and going. 13-year-old competitive Tetris player becomes the first human known to beat the game on the original NES by forcing it to a kill screen. In doing so, the player, the guy's name's, I guess, Blue Scuddy. I'm assuming that's the player's name. That's not.
Probably like a screen name or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think his name's Blue Scuddy.
Who knows,
You never
man? It's
know, man.
2020. It's 2024. It's not 2023 anymore, Andrew. Blue Mur broke world records for overall score, levels achieved, and total numbers of lines in a 34-year-old game. Previously, only AI had broken Tetris. So the feat took Blue Scuddy about 38 minutes, as shown in the video he posted on his YouTube page. As he nears the feet, Blue Scuddy says, "Oh, I missed it." After misplacing a block, he recovers and says, "Oh my God!" As it seems he'll be able to do it. Please crash, as he says, as the blocks careen down the screen and possibly fast. So I guess it's got to a point where those fucking blocks are just like choo 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 wildfire. He gets another line. The game freezes. "Oh my God! Yes, I'm going to pass out." He says, "I can't feel my hands." Well, God bless the young man, 13-year-old who fucking had an orgasm before he could even have an orgasm, more or less. Your thoughts on this feat that at least I didn't think could be done. Okay, let me ask you this. The game freezing means it was beat. I thought maybe it was like Mario. It was like, congratulations.
No,
then-
the game freezing means that basically the data that's programmed into it is just no longer. It can the processor can no longer compute it. So those blocks
Yeah.
are coming down so fast. There's so many pixels on the screen that the computer's just like, nope, I'm done here. I can't process this information anymore. Over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that now. Now that you make sense, it outdid it was NES, so it's what, 4-bit, 8-bit.
8-bit. Yeah, but I never really played the like NES version of Tetris. I always just played it on the Game Boy, and Game Boy had. I mean, I guess it never ended. I mean, I wasn't trying for any records either. There was no money in it. There was just bragging rights. But my best accomplishment on that was you could pre-load like basically shit bricks all the way up to like 3/4 of the screen, and then put it on level 9. And then if you could whittle your way down, eventually, like the space shuttle would take off, and that was how you beat the game. And I got to that a few times, but not this level. And I've seen the professionals play Tetris. They don't even hold the controller the way you and I would normally hold the controller. They do this thing where they have the controller upside down with it rested on their knee, because they have to get it in order to move the bricks fast enough left and right. You have to have like something under your finger to push the controller against to go back and forth. Yeah.
I thought there may have been a time in the mid to late 2000s where surfing for internet porn, the internet would just tell me you reached the end of it. You've seen
Seatbelt.
everything.
Seen all the porn.
Yeah. So, and I didn't get there. So I equate that to this in terms of level of achievement.
Still haven't gotten there, actually.
No, it's impossible now. I mean, it's just,
Now it's, with OnlyFans.
there was a time where I was close, I think.
Well, I do have a question about video games in general. Like, today's video games are like goal based, right? There's a task you must complete. That's how you beat the game. Back then, it was just how much can you take? You know what I mean? You were gonna throw every piece of computing power at you. What's the best you can do? I don't know which version is more satisfying. You know, like that super duper high score that nobody can beat, or just, yeah, I did it in record time. Go back to like some of the like Mario 3, right? There were some levels where you had to be like pixel perfect on a block before you jumped in order to achieve it. Especially when there was no save and there was no code. It was just, if you might have to play for 3 hours to get to this one level. And then it's like, all right, I got all 3 lives. Okay, I got 3 chances at this one thing that I've only been to once. And if I can't do it, I have to start all over again to get to this one screen in this one scenario where I hopefully have 3 lives to complete it. Like, there's something more satisfying about beating a game like that, I think, than there is, your Call of Duties and things like that.
Yeah, well, as a person who still plays video games, not too actively anymore, but reasonably actively, like, Call of Duties are fucking terrible. Like, as story games that you would play by yourself. You only
Sure,
play by yourself.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, I get what you're saying. There is something a little bit satisfying about that. Because, like, every now and then we fire up the Crash Bandicoot on fucking PlayStation. And, like, I literally fucking, I go from playing, like, this, in this fucking, like, immersive Wild West world where I'm riding horses and shooting motherfuckers with 6-shooters. And then I go into fucking Crash Bandicoot and I can't. Like, it's harder to play because you've almost, like, the skill set was different. You know what I mean? And so, like, the almost rudimentary nature of it is, like, even harder than any game that I play now. So, yeah, it is a little bit different. Like, I enjoy the journey on some of those, like, epic fucking rides that you have out now. Like your Red Dead Redemptions and the Witchers and stuff. Like, the stories are fucking phenomenal, but they're basically like movies. They're like novels that you play through. Whereas, like, Crash Bandicoot, you were like, "Yep, I gotta get to that mask, or else I gotta do this whole fucking ice level over again." And then motherfucking penguins, god damn it, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just something about the frustration of like nothing, or the very simple thing that was satisfying. So I feel that.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's ebb and flow. I like a little bit of both. Like a little bit of both. I mean, and there seem to be some games, especially from like the NES era, that were just unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
The I can name a few actually, and I owned a very obscure game. It wasn't produced by the traditional NES manufacturer. It had that kind of like that curve to it. It was the different manufacturer, and it was a Three Stooges game. Actually, if you go back and read about that, that was actually a game that they said, "Oh, it's impossible to beat." So, kudos to Blue Scuddy, and if anything, you've made national headlines on 404media.co. You've also made it here on the on the Middle Class Holes as the Middle
Even
Class
more
Holes
impressive.
badass of January 2024. You will forever live in folklore.